The space station Meridian floated in the darkness like a metal island. It orbited a red planet that no one wanted to visit. The planet was full of dangerous creatures and poisonous air. But the aliens who built the station did not care about danger. They cared about making weapons. Dr. Elena Rodriguez walked through the cold metal halls of the station. She was the only human working there. The other scientists were aliens from different worlds. Some looked like giant bugs with 6 arms. Others looked like living crystals that glowed in the dark. There were also frog-like creatures with wet skin who spoke in whispers. Elena worked in the biggest lab on the station. Inside a huge glass cage was the most dangerous creature anyone had ever seen. It was called a Warbeast. The creature was 12 feet tall and covered in black scales. That looked like armor. Its claws were as long as kitchen knives. Its teeth could bite through steel. But the worst part was its eyes. They glowed gold like fire and seemed to look right into your soul. The Warbeast had been sleeping for 3 months. The alien scientists had put special drugs in its food to keep it calm. Even while it slept, the creature scared everyone. Guards would not go near its cage. Scientists did their work from far away using robots. Elena was the only one brave enough to stand close to the glass. She made notes on her computer about the creature. The Warbeast was not just strong and fast. It was also very smart. Tests showed it could solve puzzles better than most people. It could also do something that scared the aliens even more. The creature could send fear directly into other minds. When it was awake, just looking at it made most aliens too scared to move. Elena heard footsteps behind her. She turned to see Captain Jake Morrison walking toward her. Jake was a tall man with brown hair and kind eyes. He wore the blue uniform of the human space navy. Elena smiled when she saw him. It had been months since she had talked to another human. "Hello, Elena," Jake said. "I am here to check on the station." "How is everything going?" "The same as always," Elena replied. "We study the creatures from the planet below. Most of them are not very interesting, but this one is different." She pointed at the sleeping Warbeast. Jake looked at the creature and felt a chill run down his back. Even sleeping, the thing looked like it could kill everyone on the station. "How did you catch something like that?" "It was not easy," Elena said. "The creature killed 6 scientists when we first brought it here. It took 20 guards with electric weapons to put it in the cage. Since then, we keep it sleeping with drugs." Jake studied the Warbeast more closely. Its chest moved up and down as it breathed. Its claws scraped against the floor even in sleep. "What do you hope to learn from it?" "The Korthak Empire wants to use these creatures as weapons," Elena explained. "They think they can control them and make them fight in wars. But I think the creatures are smarter than anyone realizes. They might even be as smart as we are." Before Jake could answer, a small voice called out from behind them. "Daddy, where are you?" Jake turned around quickly. His 7-year-old daughter Katie was walking down the hall. She had blonde hair tied in pigtails and wore a pink dress with flowers. On it, she carried a stuffed bear under one arm. "Katie, what are you doing here?" Jake asked. "I told you to stay on the ship." "I got bored," Katie said. "And I wanted to see where you work." She looked around at all the strange equipment and alien scientists. Her eyes grew wide with wonder. Elena smiled at the little girl. "Hello, Katie. I am Elena. Your father and I are old friends." "Hi," Katie said. Then she noticed the Warbeast in its cage. "Wow, what is that big animal?" "It is not an animal you should look at," Jake said quickly. He tried to move Katie away from the cage, but she was already walking toward it. Elena watched Katie approach the glass. Most people felt afraid when they got close to the Warbeast, even when it was sleeping. But Katie showed no fear at all. She pressed her nose against the glass and stared at the creature. "It looks sad," Katie said. "Sad?" Elena asked. She had never thought of the Warbeast as sad. It seemed too dangerous to have feelings like sadness. Yes, Katie said. Like when my dog had to stay at the vet. He looked scared and lonely, just like this one. Suddenly, red lights began flashing. All over the station. A loud alarm started ringing. Elena grabbed her computer and checked the readings. Her face went pale. "What is happening?" Jake asked. "Solar flare," Elena said. "A big one. The electromagnetic pulse is hitting our systems." The lights in the lab began to flicker. Computer screens went black and then came back on. Somewhere in the distance, they could hear metal groaning and sparks flying. "We need to get to the emergency." "Shelters," Elena said. But as she spoke, the lights went out completely. Emergency power kicked in, but it was weak. Red backup lights cast strange shadows on the walls. The air recycling system stopped working. The temperature began to drop. Elena looked at her computer screen. Her heart sank when she saw the readings. "The containment field," she whispered. "What about it?" Jake asked. "It is failing. The solar flare damaged the power grid. The force field keeping the Warbeast in its cage is getting weaker." As if the creature could hear them talking, the Warbeast began to stir. Its golden eyes opened. Slowly. For 3 months, it had been trapped in dreams caused by the sleeping drugs. Now it was waking up, and it remembered everything. The creature stood up slowly. It was even bigger than Elena remembered. Its head almost touched the top of the 12-foot cage. It looked around the lab with intelligent eyes. Then it saw the humans and aliens staring at it. The Warbeast opened its mouth and let out a roar. That shook the entire station. The sound was like thunder mixed with the scream of an angry lion. Every person in the lab felt fear shoot through their bodies like lightning. Elena watched her computer screen as the containment field grew weaker and weaker. "Everyone needs to leave now," she shouted over the creature's roars. The alien scientists began running toward the exits. Their different languages mixed together in panic. The bug-like aliens clicked their mandibles in fear. The crystal beings flashed bright colors that meant danger. The frog creatures croaked warnings to each other. Jake picked up Katie and started toward the door. But the little girl twisted in his arms to look back at the Warbeast. The creature had placed its massive hands against the glass. Cracks began to appear where it touched. "Daddy, the animal is scared," Katie said. "It is not scared," Jake replied. "It is angry and dangerous." The containment field made a loud buzzing sound and then went silent. The Warbeast pushed against the glass with all its strength. The cracks spread wider. With a sound like breaking thunder, the glass wall shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. The Warbeast stepped out of its cage for the first time in 3 months. It stretched its arms and felt the freedom it had almost forgotten. Then it remembered the pain of being captured. It remembered the scientists who had poked it with needles and shocked it with electricity. It remembered being trapped in the small cage while aliens stared at it like it was a thing instead of a living being. The creature's roar echoed through the station again. This time, it was a roar of rage and revenge. The hunt was about to begin. The Warbeast moved through the broken glass like a shadow made of nightmares. Its claws clicked against the metal floor with each step. The creature stood in the middle of the lab and looked around at all the equipment that had been used to study it. With one sweep of its massive arm, it destroyed a table full of computers and testing tools. Elena pressed herself against the wall near the exit. Her heart was beating so fast she thought it might explode. The alien scientists were pushing and shoving each other to get through the doorway. Some of them were screaming in languages she did not understand. Jake still held Katie in his arms. He wanted to run like everyone else, but something made him stop. The Warbeast was looking right at them. Its golden eyes seemed to glow brighter in the red emergency lights, but the creature was not moving toward them. It was just watching. "Why is it not attacking us?" Elena whispered. Jake did not answer. He was too busy trying to think of a way to escape. The creature stood between them and the main exit. There was another door on the far side of the lab, but they would have to run past the Warbeast to reach it. The creature took a step toward them, then another. Its huge hands could grab them both before they could even scream. Jake closed his eyes and held Katie tighter. "Hello," Katie said in a small voice. Jake's eyes snapped open. His daughter was looking at the Warbeast with curious eyes. She showed no fear at all. The creature stopped walking when it heard her voice. "Katie, be quiet," Jake whispered. "Do not talk to it." But Katie ignored her father. She had always been good with animals. At home, she could calm down angry dogs and make scared cats purr. This big creature looked just like a scared animal to her. "You are very big," Katie said to the Warbeast. "Are you lonely?" The creature tilted its head to one side. It had heard many voices since being captured. Scientists giving orders, guards shouting commands, aliens speaking in fear, but this voice was different. It was gentle and kind. The Warbeast had not heard a gentle voice in a very long time. Elena watched in amazement as the creature's angry expression began to change. The fire in its golden eyes grew dimmer. Its breathing slowed down. The waves of fear that came from its mind grew weaker. "My daddy says you are dangerous," Katie continued, "but I think you are just scared. When I get scared, I want my mommy. Do you miss your family?" The Warbeast made a sound that was not quite a roar. It was softer, like a deep sigh. The creature had not thought about its family in months. The drugs had made those memories fade away. But now they came rushing back. It remembered running through red forests with its pack. It remembered playing with its young brothers and sisters. It remembered the day the skyships came and everything changed. Jake felt his daughter squirming in his arms. "Katie, what are you doing?" "I want to get down," she said. "The big animal wants to be friends." "Absolutely not," Jake said. "That thing could kill you." But Katie was already sliding out of his arms. She was small and quick, and Jake could not hold her when she really wanted to get away. She dropped to the floor and took a step toward the Warbeast. The creature looked down at the tiny human child. Katie barely came up to its knees. The Warbeast could crush her with one finger. But instead of feeling angry, the creature felt something that it had almost forgotten. It felt protective. "Katie, come back here right now," Jake said. His voice was shaking with fear. "It is okay, Daddy," Katie said. She took another step closer to the Warbeast. "He will not hurt me, will you?" she asked the creature. The Warbeast lowered its massive head until it was level with Katie's face. She could see her reflection in its golden eyes. The creature's breath was warm and smelled like the forest. Katie reached out her small hand very slowly. Elena wanted to scream. She wanted to grab Katie and run. But she was frozen in place, watching something that should have been impossible. The most dangerous creature in the galaxy was letting a human child touch its face. Katie's fingers barely covered one small section of the Warbeast's nose. The creature's skin felt rough but warm. Katie smiled and patted the creature gently, the same way she petted her dog at home. "You have pretty eyes," Katie said. "They look like gold coins. My teacher says gold is very valuable. That means you are special." The Warbeast closed its eyes and enjoyed the feeling of gentle touch. For 3 months, the only touch it had known was from electric prods in medical needles. It had forgotten that touch could be kind. Other sounds echoed through the station. Alarm bells were ringing. People were shouting orders over the communication system. Somewhere in the distance, they could hear the sound of weapons being prepared. The station security forces were getting ready to fight. "They are coming to hurt you," Katie said sadly. "That is not fair. You were just trapped and scared." The Warbeast opened its eyes. It could hear the sounds too. Soon, guards with electric weapons would come through the doors. They would try To put it back in the cage or maybe kill it this time. The creature had fought them before. It knew it could fight them again. But looking at Katie made the Warbeast think about something else. This small human had shown it kindness when everyone else showed only fear. Maybe not all humans were the same as the ones who had captured it. Can you understand me? Katie asked. The Warbeast nodded its huge head very slowly. Katie clapped her hands together with joy. I knew it. You are smart, just like people. What is your name? The creature made a series of low sounds that were part growl and part song. It was trying to say its name in its own language, but Katie could not understand the complex sounds. That is too hard for me to say, Katie said. Can I give you a new name? How about Rex? That means king, and you look like a king to me. The Warbeast considered this. In its own language, its name meant storm that walks, because of its power and speed. Rex was simpler, but it also meant strength and leadership. The creature decided it liked this new name. Rex, it said in a deep voice that rumbled like distant thunder. Jake nearly fell over when he heard the creature speak. In all the months of study, no one had heard it say a single word. The scientists thought it was too primitive for language. You can talk. Katie said excitedly, This is the best day ever. Elena slowly moved closer, her fear mixing with scientific curiosity. This is incredible, she whispered. The creature has been hiding its intelligence from us. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallways outside the lab. The security team was getting closer. Rex's ears twitched as he heard them coming. His muscles tensed as his instincts told him to prepare for battle. Do not fight them, Katie said quickly. She seemed to understand what Rex was thinking. Fighting will only make things worse. They are scared of you because they do not know you like I do. Rex looked down at the small human child. She was asking him to trust her people, even though her people had captured him and locked him in a cage. But there was something in her voice that made him want to believe her. Please, Katie said, let me help you. I know my daddy and Elena are good people. Maybe we can make everyone understand that you are good too. The lab doors burst open. 20 guards in black armor rushed in carrying electric weapons and nets. Their leader pointed at Rex and shouted, Target acquired. Prepare to fire. Rex stood up to his full height. His claws extended and his eyes blazed with golden fire. Every instinct told him to attack first and ask questions later, but then he felt a small hand slip into his massive one. Katie had moved to stand beside him. She was not running away like everyone else. She was staying with him. Wait. Katie shouted to the guards. Do not hurt him. His name is Rex and he is my friend. The guard captain stared in shock. A 7-year-old human girl was holding hands with the most dangerous creature in the known galaxy. And somehow they both looked perfectly calm. The guard captain could not believe what he was seeing. His name was Commander Blake, and he had fought dangerous creatures on dozens of worlds, but he had never seen anything like this. A small human child was standing next to the most feared predator in the galaxy, and neither of them looked afraid. Little girl, get away from that thing right now, Commander Blake shouted. His electric weapon was charged and ready to fire. Behind him, 19 other guards aimed their weapons at Rex. His name is Rex, Katie said firmly, and he is not a thing. He is my friend. Rex felt the fear and anger coming from the guards. Their minds were full of violent thoughts. He wanted to roar and show them his claws. He wanted to make them run away screaming. But Katie's small hand was still holding his massive finger, and her touch kept him calm. Jake stepped forward slowly, his hands raised to show he was not dangerous. Commander, please do not shoot. Let me get my daughter away from the creature. You have 30 seconds, Commander Blake said. Then we fire whether the girl is there or not. Katie heard what the commander said and felt tears start in her eyes. You cannot hurt Rex. He has not done anything wrong. That creature killed 6 people when we captured it. Commander Blake replied. It is too dangerous to live. That was before, Katie said. He was scared then. People do bad things when they are scared too. But Rex is not scared anymore because he knows I am his friend. Elena moved closer to the group. Her scientist mind was working fast. Commander, wait. This could be the breakthrough we have been looking for. The child has made contact with the creature. We could learn so much. My orders are to destroy the creature if it escapes, Commander Blake said. I do not care about your research. Rex understood enough of their language to know. They wanted to kill him. The golden fire returned to his eyes. His free hand formed a fist that could smash through steel. But before he could move, Katie stepped in front of him. If you want to hurt Rex, you have to go through me first, she said in her small but brave voice. The guards looked uncomfortable. None of them wanted to hurt a child, but their orders were clear. Commander Blake spoke into his radio. Control room, we have a situation. The human child is protecting the creature. Request new orders. Cold voice answered from the radio. This is Director Karn. Terminate the creature immediately. Acceptable losses are authorized. Jake felt ice in his stomach. Director Karn was not human. He was a Zephyrian, one of the bug-like aliens who ran the station. Zephyrians did not care about human children the way humans did. Please, Jake said to Commander Blake. She is just a little girl. Give me a chance to talk to her. Commander Blake looked at his watch. You have 2 minutes. Then we follow orders. Jake knelt down beside his daughter. Katie, you have to come with me now. The creature is too dangerous. No, Daddy, Katie said. Rex is not dangerous to me. He likes me. Look. She turned to Rex and said, Rex, can you sit down? To everyone's amazement, the 12-foot-tall creature slowly lowered itself to the ground. Sitting down, Rex was still taller than most of the guards, but he looked less threatening. Good boy, Katie said, patting Rex's arm. Now can you show them you are smart? Can you count to 5? Rex held up one massive finger, then 2, then 3, 4, and 5. The guards stared in shock. This was not the behavior of a mindless beast. Elena pulled out her tablet computer and started recording. This is incredible. The creature is showing clear signs of intelligence and emotional control. Commander, you cannot kill something that might be a person. My orders have not changed, Commander Blake said. But his voice was less certain now. Katie had an idea. Rex, can you draw something pretty? Rex looked around the lab and found a piece of broken metal. He began to scratch lines on the floor with his claw. Slowly, a picture took shape. It showed 2 figures standing together under stars. One was large and one was small. It was Rex and Katie. He drew us, Katie said happily. See, we are friends. The guards were whispering to each other now. Some of them were starting to lower their weapons. It was hard to want to kill something that could make art, but Commander Blake was still following his orders. 30 seconds, he announced. Rex could smell the fear and confusion coming from the guards. He could also smell something else. More aliens were coming down the hallway. These smelled different, dangerous. They smelled like the ones who had captured him in the first place. Korthik soldiers, Elena whispered, recognizing the heavy footsteps. They must have heard about Rex escaping. The lab doors opened again. This time, 6 alien warriors entered. They looked like giant lizards walking on 2 legs. Their scales were black as space, and their eyes glowed red. These were Korthik Empire soldiers, and they had come to take back their weapon. The lead Korthik soldier was bigger than the others. His name was Captain Drex, and he had been the one to capture Rex in the first place. Stand down, humans, he said in a voice like grinding rocks. The Warbeast belongs to the Korthik Empire. This is a research station, Elena said. You have no authority here. Captain Drex laughed, showing teeth like broken glass. We have the authority of strength. The creature is our property. We will take it now. Rex recognized the smell and sound of Captain Drex. This was the alien who had killed his pack brothers. This was the one who had put the collar on his neck and dragged him away from his home world. Rex's calm disappeared like smoke in the wind. The Warbeast stood up slowly. His eyes blazed with golden fire again, but this time it was not just anger, it was pure hatred. A deep growl came from his throat that made everyone in the room feel cold. "Rex, no," Katie said quickly. "Do not be angry. Anger makes everything worse." But Rex was not listening anymore. He was remembering the day his family died. He was remembering the pain of the capture nets and the electric prods. All his rage came flooding back like a dam bursting. Captain Drex pulled out a device that looked like a remote control. "We came prepared this time," he said. He pressed a button on the device. Rex suddenly grabbed his head and roared in pain. The collar he had worn during his capture had left something behind. A small chip in his neck that could cause terrible pain when activated. "Stop it," Katie yelled. She could see that Rex was hurting. "You are being mean to him." "The creature must learn who is master," Captain Drex said. He pressed the button again, and Rex fell to his knees. Katie ran to Rex and threw her arms around his massive neck. "I am here," she whispered. "You are not alone." Something strange happened then. Katie's touch seemed to block the pain device. The chip in Rex's neck stopped working. The little girl's presence somehow interfered with the Korthek technology. Rex looked down at Katie with surprise. The pain was gone, but more than that, he felt strong again. Not just physically strong, but strong inside his heart. He had someone who cared about him. "Impossible," Captain Drex hissed. He pressed the button over and over, but nothing happened. "The control device is malfunctioning." "Maybe it is not the device," Elena said quietly. "Maybe the connection between them is stronger than your technology." Rex stood up again, but this time he was not filled with rage. He was filled with purpose. Katie had showed him kindness when no one else would. Now it was his turn to protect her. "Katie," he said in his deep voice, "stand behind Rex." The little girl moved behind her friend. Rex spread his arms wide, making himself a shield between Katie and the Korthek soldiers. His message was clear. If they wanted to hurt the child, they would have to go through him first. Captain Drex snarled and pulled out a bigger weapon. "If we cannot control the beast, we will destroy it. And anyone who gets in our way." The battle for Katie and Rex was about to begin. Captain Drex raised his weapon and pointed it at Rex. The gun was bigger than anything the human guards carried. It could punch holes through metal walls. But before he could fire, Commander Blake stepped between them. "You cannot shoot in here," Blake said. "There are too many people. Someone will get hurt." "Then clear the room," Captain Drex growled. "We will take the creature and the human child." "The child?" Jake stepped forward, his fear turning to anger. "You are not taking my daughter." "Anywhere." Captain Drex's red eyes focused on Jake. "The child has formed a bond with our weapon. She will help us control other war beasts. She is valuable to us now." Elena felt sick hearing those words. The Korthek Empire wanted to use Katie like a tool. They would take her away from her family and force her to work with captured creatures. "Over my dead body," she said. "That can be arranged," Captain Drex replied coldly. "Rex, listen to the aliens talking about taking Katie away." The idea filled him with a rage bigger than anything he had felt before. These creatures had already taken him from his family. They would not take Katie from hers. The Warbeast let out a roar that shook the entire station. The sound was so loud that some of the lights broke. Everyone in the room had to cover their ears. Rex's golden eyes blazed like twin suns. "Rex, please," Katie said from behind him. "Do not lose control. We need to be smart, not angry." Her voice reached through Rex's. Rage and helped him think clearly. Katie was right. Fighting here would be dangerous for everyone. But Rex could not let the Korthik soldiers take her away. "What do you want?" Rex asked Captain Drex in his deep voice. The Korthik captain was surprised to hear the creature speak. "You will come with us quietly. The human child too. If you fight, we will kill everyone in this room." Rex considered his options. He was strong, but there were 6 Korthik soldiers with heavy weapons. The human guards would try to help, but they might get hurt. Katie might get hurt. That was not acceptable. "Rex has idea," he said to Katie without turning around. "Trust Rex." Katie nodded even though Rex could not see her. "I trust you." Rex slowly raised his hands as if he was surrendering. "Rex will come, but child stays here. She is too small for war." "The child comes with us," Captain Drex insisted. "She is part of the package now." "Then no deal," Rex said. He lowered his hands and prepared to fight. Elena had been watching everything and thinking hard. As a scientist, she always looked for solutions that others missed. "Wait," she said loudly. "I have an idea that might help everyone." "Speak quickly," Captain Drex said. "My patience runs short." Elena took a deep breath. "What if we could prove that Rex is not a weapon? What if we could show that he is actually a person with rights and feelings?" "Impossible," Captain Drex laughed. "It is an animal bred for war." "No," Elena said firmly. "Look at what we have seen today. Rex can talk, count, make art, and show emotions. He protected Katie when he could have run away. These are not the actions of a mindless beast." Commander Blake was listening carefully. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" "I am suggesting we contact the Galactic Council," Elena said. "Let them decide if Rex is a person or a weapon. If he is a person, then the Korthak Empire has no right to own him." Captain Drex snarled at the idea. "The Council will never side against the Empire. We are too powerful." "Maybe," Elena said. "But are you willing to risk it? If the Council rules that Rex is a person, the Empire will look very bad for enslaving an intelligent species." Katie peeked around Rex's arm. "What is the Galactic Council?" "They are like judges for all the different alien species," Elena explained. "They make rules about what is right and wrong in space." Rex understood what Elena was trying to do. She was buying them time and maybe finding a way for him to be free without anyone getting hurt. "Rex agrees," he said. "Let Council decide." "Captain." Drex did not like this idea at all. But he knew Elena was right about one thing. If the Galactic Council decided that warbeasts were people, it would cause big problems for the Empire. They had captured hundreds of these creatures over the years. "The Empire will never agree to this," Captain Drex said. "Then you are afraid of what they might decide," Katie said in her small voice. "If Rex is really just an animal like you say, then the Council will agree with you. But if you are wrong, then you are the bad guys." The Korthak captain stared down at the human child. She was so small, but her words hit him like a punch. Other people in the room were starting to nod their heads. If the Empire refused to let the Council decide, it would look like they were hiding something. Jake moved closer to his daughter. "Katie is right. If you are so sure about what Rex is, then you should not be afraid of judges." Elena pulled out her communication device. "I am calling the Council representative on this station right now. We can have an emergency hearing within the hour." "Do it," Commander Blake said. He was tired of pointing guns at children and creatures who might be innocent. Captain Drex spoke quietly with his soldiers in their own language. Elena could not understand the words, but she could tell they were arguing about something. Finally, Captain Drex turned back to the group. "We will allow this hearing," he said. "But when the Council rules in our favor, we take the creature and the child immediately. No more delays." "And if they rule that Rex is a person?" Elena asked. "That will not happen," Captain Drex said confidently. Alina made her call to the council representative. Within minutes, they had arranged for an emergency hearing in the station's main assembly hall. Representatives from different alien species would listen to both sides and make a decision. As they prepared to leave the lab, Katie tugged on Rex's arm. "Are you scared?" she asked quietly. Rex looked down at his small friend. "Yes," he admitted. "But Rex has Katie. That makes Rex brave." Katie smiled and took his massive hand in her tiny one. "I will tell them how smart and kind you are. They will have to believe me." Jake watched his daughter with a mixture of pride and worry. She was so young, but she was about to speak in front of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The future of her friend depended on her words. Elena gathered her research data about Rex's intelligence and behavior. She had been studying the creature for months, but she had never imagined that her work would be used in a trial like this. Commander Blake and his guards formed a protective circle around the group as they walked through the station corridors. Other aliens stopped to stare as they passed. Word had spread quickly about the human child and the tame Warbeast. Captain Drex and his soldiers followed behind, their weapons ready. They were confident that the hearing would go their way. The Korthak Empire had never lost a case before the Galactic Council, but as they walked, Rex noticed something that made him think. The human guards were walking close to him and Katie, but they were not pointing their weapons at him anymore. They were pointing them at the Korthak soldiers instead. The humans had chosen sides, and they had chosen to protect Rex and Katie. The assembly hall was huge, with seats for hundreds of beings. Representatives from 12 different alien species sat in a circle around a central platform. This was where Rex would have to prove that he was more than just a weapon. As they entered the hall, Katie looked up at Rex and whispered, "Whatever happens, you will always be my friend." Rex squeezed her hand gently, "And Katie will always be Rex's friend too." The trial that would change everything was about to begin. The assembly hall was filled with beings from across the galaxy. At the center sat Judge Vorn, an ancient crystal creature whose body glowed with soft blue light. His voice sounded like music when he spoke. "This emergency hearing will now begin," Judge Vorn announced. "We are here to decide if the creature known as Rex is a weapon or a person with rights." Katie sat in a chair that was too big for her, with Rex standing beside her. His massive hand rested gently on her shoulder. Across the room, Captain Drex and his soldiers waited with confident expressions. "The Korthak Empire will speak first," Judge Vorn said. Captain Drex stood up and walked to the center of the room. "Honored judges, the facts are simple. Warbeasts are animals bred for combat. They are strong, fast, and dangerous, but they are not people. This particular creature killed 6 researchers when we first captured it. It is a weapon, nothing more." One of the other judges, a tall being with silver skin, asked a question. "What about the creature's apparent intelligence and ability to speak?" "Simple training," Captain Drex replied. "Many animals can be taught to repeat words and follow commands. This does not make them people. A trained dog can sit and speak, but it is still just a dog." The judges murmured among themselves. Captain Drex's argument sounded reasonable too. Many of them. "The Empire has used warbeasts in our military for generations," Captain Drex continued. "They follow orders and fight well, but they cannot think for themselves. They are valuable property, and we demand the return of our asset." Judge Vorn nodded. "Thank you, Captain. Now the human side will present their case." Elena stood up first. She carried her tablet computer full of research data. "Honored judges, I have studied Rex for months. My research shows that he possesses intelligence equal to or greater than most civilized species." She pressed buttons on her tablet, and holographic images appeared in the air above the judges. Rex can solve complex puzzles, understand abstract concepts, and express emotions. He has shown creativity by making art and compassion by protecting others. The judges looked at the images with interest. They showed Rex's drawings and test results that proved his intelligence. But the most important evidence, Elena continued, is what happened today. When Rex escaped, he could have killed everyone in the lab. Instead, he chose to listen to a child who showed him kindness. This shows moral reasoning and emotional control. Judge Vorn studied the data carefully. These are impressive findings, Doctor. But the Empire claims this is simply advanced training. Elena shook her head. No training could create what we have seen. Rex makes independent decisions based on empathy and friendship. These are the qualities that define personhood. Captain Drex stood up again. The human doctor is emotional about her research. She wants to see intelligence where there is only instinct. The creature is dangerous and unpredictable. If I may, a small voice said from across the room. Everyone turned to look at Katie. She had stood up on her chair so the judges could see her better. Judge Vorn smiled at the human child. You may speak, young one. Katie took a deep breath. She was nervous about talking to such important people, but she knew she had to help Rex. My name is Katie Morrison, and Rex is my best friend. Some of the judges looked surprised. A friendship between a child and a war beast seemed impossible to them. Captain Drex says Rex is just an animal, Katie continued. But animals do not choose to be good when they could be bad. When Rex escaped, he was angry and scared. He could have hurt everyone. But he chose not to. Katie looked up at Rex, who smiled down at her with his golden eyes. Rex protected me from the mean soldiers. He could have run away and saved himself, but he stayed with me instead. That is what friends do for each other. The assembly hall was completely quiet. Everyone was listening to the 7-year-old girl who spoke with such simple honesty. Captain, Drex wants to take Rex away and make him fight in wars, Katie said. But Rex does not want to fight anymore. He wants to go home to his family, just like I would if I was lost. One of the judges, a being that looked like a giant butterfly, asked, How do you know what the creature wants, child? Because he told me, Katie said. Rex can talk. He has feelings. He gets sad when he remembers his family, and he gets happy when we play together. He is not a weapon. He is a person with a heart. Captain Drex stood up angrily. The child is confused. She has formed an emotional attachment to a dangerous beast. Her testimony is worthless. Rex is not dangerous to people who are nice to him, Katie said firmly. He is only dangerous to people who try to hurt others, just like humans would be. Judge Vorn looked at Rex. Creature, can you speak for yourself? Do you understand what is happening here? Rex nodded his massive head. Rex understands. These judges decide if Rex is person or thing. And what do you believe you are? Judge Vorn asked. Rex thought carefully about his answer. Rex feels. Rex thinks. Rex loves Katie like daughter. Rex misses family on home world. Rex wants freedom, not war. He paused and looked around the room. If Rex is just animal, why do judges ask Rex questions? Animals cannot answer. The judges looked at each other with surprise. It was a simple but powerful argument. Rex was taken from family. The Warbeast continued. Forced to live in cage, made to fight against will. Is this right to do to person? If Rex is animal, then maybe is right. But if Rex is person, then Empire did terrible wrong. Captain Drex was getting frustrated. Enough of this theater. The creature has been trained to say these things. Who trained Rex to love Katie? Elena asked. Who trained him to make art? Who trained him to sacrifice his own freedom to protect a child? The captain had no answer for that. Judge Vorn spoke to his fellow judges in a language that sounded like singing wind. They talked quietly for several minutes while everyone waited. Finally, Judge Vorn stood up. We have reached a decision. The evidence is clear. This creature shows intelligence, emotion, creativity, and moral reasoning. These are the qualities that define personhood across all species. Katie held her breath. Rex squeezed her shoulder gently. We rule that Rex and all. Others of his kind are people, not property, Judge Vorn announced. The Korthek Empire must immediately free all captured war beasts and return them to their home worlds. The hall erupted in noise. Some beings cheered while others argued. Captain Drex roared in anger and reached for his weapon. But Commander Blake and his guards were ready. They surrounded the Korthak soldiers before they could cause trouble. Katie jumped up and hugged Rex's arm. We won! You are free! Rex felt something he had not felt in a very long time. Hope. Rex is free, he said in wonder. Katie made Rex free. Elena was already making plans. We will need to set up a system to help the warbeasts return home. Some may want to stay and work with humans. Others will want to go back to their families. Judge Vorn approached Rex and Katie. Young one, you have done something remarkable today. You saw a person where others saw only a monster. Katie smiled. It was easy. I just had to listen with my heart instead of my eyes. 3 months later, Katie stood on the bridge of her father's ship as they approached Rex's home world. The planet was covered in red forests and purple mountains. It was the most beautiful place she had ever seen. Rex stood beside her, wearing a communication device that would let him talk to his people and to Katie even when they were apart. Home, he said softly. When they landed, Rex's surviving family members came running from the forest. Katie watched with tears of joy as Rex reunited with his brothers and sisters. They touched noses and made happy sounds that filled the air. Like music, Rex's younger sister, who was only half his size, approached Katie carefully. You are the small human who saved brother, she said in broken human language. Rex saved himself, Katie replied. I just helped him remember who he really was. Before leaving, Rex knelt down so he was eye level with Katie. Katie will always be Rex's family, he said. Even when stars are cold, Rex will remember small human who saw his heart. Katie hugged her giant friend one last time. I will remember too. And I will visit whenever I can. As their ship lifted off from the planet, Katie watched Rex playing with his family in the red forests below. She had learned something important during their adventure. Sometimes the scariest-looking people just needed someone to believe in them. The universe was full of different kinds of beings, but friendship could bridge any gap between them. All it took was an open heart and the courage to say hello. Rex looked up at the ship carrying his small friend back to the stars. He would miss her every day, but he would never forget the lesson she had taught him. Even in the darkest times, there was always hope. And sometimes, hope came in very small packages. The war beast who had once defied all opposition now watched the sunset with his family, at peace for the first time in years. And somewhere among the stars, a little girl named Katie was already planning their next adventure together.